Ladies and gentlemen, there's no better way to get up in the morning than to get up with Garret. Garret Bedrin is a third-generation success-credentialed real estate entrepreneur who is here to give you tips, tricks, and share stories of success. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Garret Bedrin.
Good morning, Dougie. So good to see you, handsome. All right.
You too.
And that was a good entrance. You really had your coffee this morning, Dougie.
Oh, yeah. We're ready to rock. We're up.
Our buddy Jeff must have taken you to Dunkin' Donuts this morning for that large iced tea or iced coffee he likes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good. So welcome back to snowy New Jersey today. We are on a delayed opening and just, a little bit of fleckles out there, a little sparkle, not too much. Hopefully no one slips and hurts themselves. But I appreciate everybody getting together and spending the morning with us. We've got a great show today. We have a friend of mine from a YPO networking organization, Adam Kaplan from Solera Senior Living, who will talk about the industry and the senior living industry, as well as the real estate industry. Because if you don't know, here's a little secret. It is a real estate game. It's a real estate business. Okay, so we're going to understand that together. But first, I want to start out, Dougie, are you familiar with this new game, Wordle? Have you done your Wordle today? Do you know what this is?
So I'm seeing this everywhere, and I have no clue what it is. I literally just opened my phone, and on Facebook, 3 people post their scores. It's a bunch of colored boxes. I have no clue what I'm looking at. Can you explain this for me?
You got it. And by the way, now that you're going to say it out loud, your Siri, your Alexa is going to show you Wordle all day long because it's a scary world we live in the metaverse here. So Wordle is a word game that you basically get 6 tries to guess a 5-letter word every day. So every, I don't know, at midnight or something, once a day, a new word comes out, and you get all the letters on the keyboard, and you guess, what that word may be. And it'll tell you if you got a letter correct in the right spot. It'll tell you it's in spot 1 or spot 2, or it'll tell you if you got a letter correct, but it's in the wrong spot. So you put it as word, letter 1, but it's really letter 4. And then it also kind of like Wheel of Fortune or Hangman, it blacks out the letters that are wrong that you've already used. So the concept is how fast can you get the Wordle each day? Can you get it at all? Obviously the first or second is, very lucky. But I've been getting it around 4 or 5 most of the days. I've done it probably 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah.
Today was a tough one. I think the best I got was a 3, and Juliet's doing it too.
So this is so that's all right. So the first row is your first. You thought it was house.
Yeah, this is. I think this is Juliet's from the other day. Yep, she guessed house, and the O is definitely the second letter for sure.
Okay.
But HUSE is out.
Yep.
Then she guessed coins. Okay, and the OIN is right. That's the exact spot. So then she guessed point, and she got it right in 3, which is super, super incredible actually for a 10-year-old. So this is going on. You share it with your friends. You let them know. It's a great way to start your day. Get that brain going, kind of warming up the muscles, right? The blood flow. So hopefully, Dougie, this will be something that you will enjoy.
I'll give it a go. So you don't get any letters or hints. It's all 24 letters, and you just know it's 5. You just know it's 5 letters.
Yeah, it's always 5 letters, and there's no hints. It's not Vanna White, like what's the phrase, or it's a name. There's nothing like that. And you have to guess real words. You can't just type in like PATTTTT or something. If you're a big Pats fan, you just can't type that in. It's got to be a real word. So it's a challenge. You've got to try to figure out what letters are in there and what letters are not in there.
Wow.
I don't want to show today's because some people in my audience may not have done their Wordle today. So because I have a lot of friends that'll text me what they got. So this is an old one.
So like today's Wordle's the same for everybody.
Yeah, isn't that cool? It's worldwide, man. We're all connected.
All right. Got it.
We're all connected. Cool. All right,
nice.
So get the Wordle out of here.
Okay. Wordle's out.
Let's talk. Dougie, do you have a sweet tooth this time of year ever? Maybe after dinner or after your morning coffee, you want to kind of have a little something all year.
Absolutely.
Okay, all year. So if you've enjoyed some of this free content over the past 6 months that we've been putting out, I don't ask for any financial contribution. This is all free. The Get Up with Garret show. But if you find in your heart of hearts that you maybe have a sweet tooth and would like to buy some Girl Scout cookies, I will let you know. Both of my daughters, Juliet and Harper, are selling Girl Scout cookies. They actually enlisted the help of their favorite pups this year. And maybe at some point in the show notes or something, we can post the website, or you can write to us, and tell us what the site is. Yep, and you can order. What's your favorite flavor, Doug? Do you know?
Oh, the Samoa's best. The Samoa's
Okay.
are the best for sure.
Samoas are awesome.
Yeah.
Have you had the s'mores? The s'mores are kind of new from a couple years ago.
I haven't had the s'mores.
Okay, highly recommend those. We
Okay.
usually bring home about 6 boxes of the s'mores. They go quick. I'm not going to lie. You have to limit yourself to like 2 cookies a night, or else you'll eat the whole thing.
Wow.
Anyway, is there a quick way to show the video, Doug, or is that too difficult? Does it say watch my video or something?
On this website here, I have 2 videos of the girls.
Oh, okay. Bring those up. All right, let's do it. Cue it up.
Okay.
Let's show the videos. They got some special helpers this year to sell their cookies. I think the audience will appreciate that.
So these videos we got?
Yeah, there you go. Let that rip.
Right.
No volume on that one.
Let's try this again. Technical difficulties.
I'm proud of the kids, for putting themselves out there. It's tough to kind of go door knock during COVID, right?
Absolutely.
And,
or in general,
try to generate interest.
Salesmen all the time are terrified of it. So the fact that the girls are doing it at that age is great.
But social media makes it easier, right? Yeah. When you can post on Facebook or Instagram. We can bring it up later if you want to find it at the end of the show.
I just had to make a quick tweak. Now it should work. Let me know if you hear it.
Let's bring the audio up.
Hi, I'm Garret Bedrin from Troop 97127, and this is my pup, Daisy. She's a dog scout. Anyways, I've been selling cookies for 6 years, so hopefully you can help me out, and you can buy for me from another year. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so there you got Daisy the dog scout.
So of course now I can't hear it, but there you go. Good. At least everyone else can hold it. All right, good. We got one more. Hold on.
If I heard it, that means everyone heard it at home, right?
Yes.
Good. All right, this one's quick.
Hi, I'm Harper. I'm a Daisy, but this is Charlie. So he wants you to buy more cookies.
Little Harper. It's funny. She says, "This is Charlie, but I'm a Daisy," right? They're called daisies. That's the type of the scouts, the daisies. So I thought that was funny. Anyway, so if you are looking for Girl Scout cookies, reach out, send us an email, getupwithgarret@gmail.com, or DM me on Instagram, and we'll put you in touch with the website. I think the way it works these days is you buy it online. I don't touch your money. You just buy it online, and oh, cool, thanks. And then they just get shipped to your house.
That link right now, for whatever reason, is live on YouTube, but it has not pushed out to Facebook and LinkedIn. So if you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, you can easily go to our YouTube channel, and it's right there for you to click on, very easy. Or you can go to, you can email getupwithgarret@gmail.com right there.
There it is, and we will send you send you all the info. Okay, cool. So last thing I want to show and talk about before we get on with our special guest today. Last week, I think I told you we started the framing in our Ramsey Salons by JC. So this is our 3rd location. We're building luxury salon suites for those of you that haven't been following. These are private single suites that we rent out, 4 walls, a door, all fully furnished, turnkey, that we rent out to beauty professionals. And we've been doing this now for, since I think 6-7 years, and we have 7 locations, and the Ramsey one is our 7th. That's about to open in the spring. And so we literally started the framing last week, and I wanted to show some update photos. Do you have those,
Absolutely.
Doug?
Absolutely.
So this is a lot of work that got done. You can see some of the walls here. Actually, these are suites, and I probably gave you 2 or 3 photos, whatever you want to cycle through there.
Okay, 1 second.
Yep, but this is a great stage, because what you don't see is, all the money that was spent and all the time that was spent on the underground work, like the underground plumbing, the fire sprinklers in the ceiling, the air conditioning, all the paint. But now that the walls go up with the framing, you have the ability to run the electric in the walls, run the plumbing. That's called the rough work. And you have to get the rough work inspected. Then you put up the sheetrock and close them out. There you go. So just to kind of show what's going on now. So this is also the time where the first handful of kind of my champions, I would say, the people that are super, super excited about getting into this location, in the next week or two, I'll be making one-on-one appointments with them, and they'll have the opportunity to come out and take a tour and literally walk in the room that they desire, that they want, and they'll be able to pick their suite. There's Tanika over there from Florida saying hi again. Such a big fan of ours. Appreciate her support from Palm Beach Gardens. And I didn't get a chance to do this one-on-one with her because she was the salon was already built when I got involved. But this is what she would have experienced, being able to see the updates and actually walk into the room and say, you know what? I call it the Goldilocks moment, Doug. This one's too big. This one's too small. This one fits perfectly.
Just right.
You've got to do that because you can't rent an office. Basically, think of it as like a 5-year, 2-year, 10-year office lease. You would never pick your place of work on a piece of paper, right? Or a photo. You'd want to walk in, make sure operational. Where do you put the coffee? Where do you put the clients? Where do you do this? So that's exciting. So we're working on that now, and hopefully I'll have some more feedback over the next few weeks to share.
Awesome.
All right.
Coming along nicely.
Cool. Yeah. So we covered all the things I wanted to cover this morning. And there's some love from Daniela from Paramus, from one of our Salons by JC Paramus beauty professionals. She does waxing and I think spray tanning now and makeup. Her company's called Strip Wax. So if you're looking for one of those services, you can look her up on Instagram under the Salons by JC North Jersey or our website. And thanks for her saying hello. We appreciate it.
We do want to remind you guys that we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you do have a question, comment, concern, if you put in the comments section, we can bring it up and answer it live with you today. So that's what these are.
How do we do that? How could we possibly be live in more than one place, Doug? I don't understand that.
Oh, it's technology.
That's incredible. So you're saying there's Landon from Winston-Salem, definitely one of our most active fans and commentators, and we appreciate Landon watching on his early break, I'm sure, with his coffee, doing a kick-ass job at our Hilltop house. He's the man. Let me tell you, that guy, call him for anything. He'll be there for you in a heartbeat. All right, so let's move on to the meat and potatoes of our show, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're very fortunate to have a very special guest joining us in the green room, a friend from our YPO networking organization, where young executives get together and have the opportunity to share best practices about what's working, what's not working, how can we grow our businesses, our family, our lives. And Adam's a Chicago Midwest guy originally. He's out in Denver, Colorado area, and he's with a company called Solera Senior Living that he founded. They have 8 locations in this industry. And Adam, are you there this morning? Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Hope you're well rested. I know you've had some nice family travels and some good time together. And appreciate you spending the morning with us from Denver.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Garrett.
All right, cool. So let's get right into it, Adam. Tell us just a kind of a quick backstory. How did you get into this industry? I don't believe from our prior talks this was a family business. You're not third generation. You started this. Give us an idea of kind of how did you get into senior living? What was it that attracted you to the industry? What were the steps that got you going there?
Yeah. So I actually grew up in the senior living industry. So my father started a company, Senior Lifestyle, and he started it when I was probably around 1 or 2 years old. I would go with him. He started on the development side of the business and built 2 projects in Chicago. And I would go with him on the weekends, actually, and we'd go visit the properties, switch off, see one or the other, and walk into the kitchen. I'd go right to he was a pretty innovative guy, and go right to the chefs, and we had little mini donut machines, and I'd make the donuts, and then I'd walk around the venues and give residents donuts and get to know the people that were living there.
I love that. I love that.
So that's how I started to learn about the business. And then I actually thought that I wanted to go into restaurants. So I worked for a number of restaurant groups in Chicago, Spago, Let Us Entertain You for a few years. And then I ended up going to Cornell studying hotel and restaurant management.
Right. HRTA. Yeah.
And continued on that path and worked for Four Seasons, Chicago. And then I took an interesting job with Aramark. They were opening a United Nations account, contract food service. And it was, it prompted me to actually think about going into real estate and, making money and then, going to good restaurants and going to nice hotels instead of, being in operations. So I actually found a great opportunity with Merrill Lynch Capital in the healthcare real estate finance division, which was a great experience for me. Spent 3 years there learning the investment side of the business as an underwriter. And then I was being pursued to go onto the private equity side of the business. And my dad convinced me at the time to join the family business. So I pivoted from capital over to ops,
Gotcha.
Pretty much, started at the ground floor. I worked worked in a building and then worked in a lot of different roles, ultimately joined the executive team and was a member of the investment committee. I spent 9 years there and then left. It was time for me to step out of my dad's shadow, be my own person. And so it was something I was wired that way. And I started Solera April 1 of 2016. And so we're approaching 6 years. We're fully integrated, management, development, and investment capabilities. But, I've been doing this now, since 2004. I love this business. It's still very much in its infancy, which is why it's exciting. It was built by pioneers and entrepreneurs 35 years ago. And it's still very much evolving. And the next generation of the industry is very much taking form and shape today. And so it's exciting to be part of that.
Perfect. Excellent. So let's stop there for a second. The first thing I want to mention, and we'll keep it short on this, but for the audience, and if you're younger and you're thinking about where you want to go to college, or maybe your kids are going to go to college, you may not know this. And Adam said it kind of quickly, but Adam actually studied HRTA, right? Hotel, restaurant. What's the other piece, Adam?
It goes by a lot of different,
Okay.
Hotel and restaurant management, hospitality administration.
Hospitality, got it.
Yeah.
Now, I studied sport management, right? So right there's two categories that you can study in school and get a degree in that maybe you have never heard of. I would venture to guess some of our listeners never even knew that you could study that. Now, for me at UMass, it was tied in somewhat to a business degree, and I'm guessing for you too, probably, Adam. So we took a lot of the economics classes, accounting classes, business classes. It's just that the theory and the practice was put to sport, just like for you, it was put to hotel and restaurant hospitality. So that's a great education. I think it's a great way to get into the real estate business or the entrepreneurial business in any type of entrepreneurial field, because the skills that you learn in those industries are very entrepreneurial, right? You have to wear a lot of hats. When you work at a restaurant, when you work at the Four Seasons, and the customer, and I'm usually the customer, says, I need this, I need that, you just get it done, right? There's legendary stories of people who work at the Four Seasons at entry-level jobs who have carte blanche to go, drive or take a flight because somebody left their suitcase and they bring it to them. So you have to wear a lot of hats. So I seriously want you guys to think about, if you're undecided and unsure what kind of business you want to get into, you may have an opportunity to learn about, the hotel, restaurant, hospitality, or the sports industry. And it's a great education. It can really apply to a lot of things in the future. The second thing that I thought was so interesting, Adam, and this really connects you and I, is this concept of, being part of kind of a family business at one point, and then saying, do you want to step out and do your own thing? That's quite a safety net and quite a difficult thing to do, right? It's not easy for everybody. So that's such an interesting story that you shared. And kind of how you went that route. So I love your intro, about the donuts. I think about, my kids, taking them to the hair salon and kind of letting them, walk around a little bit, meet the different professionals that are there. And as they get older, like helping out, folding towels, and just kind of learning the business from the ground floor. I didn't really do that, to be honest. I was too young or wasn't interested when my family had the office supply business. And of course, we went to the store and we had the best trapper keepers and whatever, pens and pencils each year for school. But I wish I had done that. And I don't know if that was me not being mature enough or ready, or maybe the age kind of gap wasn't the right fit. But what you did with the donuts, and your dad did with the donuts also, it was instilling this kind of image in your brain at a young age of, let's be part of it. Let's be helpful. Let's do whatever it takes, right? Something as small as the donuts, that's an important detail. I could see a senior sitting there, a resident sitting in one of the facilities getting this donut from this cute 4-year-old would just make their day, right? I mean, that just is something that is the small details often make a big impression in work. And that's what I want people to remember. Never forget those small details. Okay, so tell us about Solera. When you say vertically integrated and we can do all these things, that sometimes gets confusing. Let's call it the bread and butter. What's the bread and butter of Solera Senior Living?
Yeah. So, I always lead by saying, while we're a vertically integrated company, that I always start with management. And that's because, senior living it's an operating intensive business. And it is the core of what we do. So while we have three primary divisions, again, I'm leading with management. So
sure.
We're in the independent living business, the assisted living business, and memory care. So,
all right, so let's break those down one by one. Let's start with independent living.
Yeah. So independent living is for people that are, it's 62 and over, but our average age is typically in the early 80s. And it's either somebody who's lost a significant other or still married. Typically about 20% of our independent living residents are still married, but they're seeking out socialization. That's primarily what we offer. So somebody who maybe their kids are busy, they're raising their own families, they have busy careers. Maybe they're not able to drive. Their friends, are different stages of their life. So they move in and they have, breakfast and lunch and dinner in a restaurant venue or multiple venues. They have happy hours. They have programs, typically like 10 programs a day. They've got transportation. It could be to, as simple as like going to the shopping mall
right.
in the area. It could be to, some kind of cultural event or entertainment.
It sounds fun. This sounds like a really nice lifestyle.
Oh, it's great. And we our motto at our company, we have a few, but we look at we've weighted very heavily to development. So of the 8 properties, 5 of them are development, and a big part of our growth also continues to be development. But we say we build places where we would want to live.
Right. Gotcha. If it wasn't 62 plus, you'd be happy living there at 40 because
exactly.
The amenities are.
And one of the things that motivated me was, I've been around the industry for a long time, talked to a lot of the people that, were founders of the industry, and they've aged now and they are candidates to move in. And they would always say to me, well, I'm not moving into one of these places. I
would never do that.
I'm going to live at home. So I found that disturbing to me, that the people that, built these properties, the people that operated these properties, that they carved out themselves.
Right.
As potential prospects. And so, the way we think about the design is we really want to create places like, like a Montage resort. We want to, create places like, the best multifamily developers with, great amenities, really good locations, either urban infill or first ring suburbs.
Sure.
And we operate them in a way where we have very talented executive chefs that we hire out of at a really good local restaurants or country clubs. And, we focus on customer service and hospitality. And so, our model is intended not for people who, are in circumstances where they have a need, but actually people that, could aspire for this lifestyle. So that's independent living.
And all these people can shower themselves and get dressed. And I mean, they're independent.
They're right? Independent. They're independent. Now, you could move into independent living and receive third-party services from a home care agency, private duty agency. So there are a percentage of people, and oftentimes that's as you age in place. So you move in, you're independent, your needs change, and then
you grow into different.
With
now
to provide the services.
With the independent living, is this a rental or are they buying, an asset here?
Rental.
It's a rental.
Yes.
Okay. So how does that rent compare to, we're building a luxury multifamily project called the Hedges at Hawthorne, which has all the great amenities that you're talking about. And obviously rents in northern New Jersey are pretty high. So obviously you have to compare it to where the location is, whether it's in Texas or Colorado. You're in multiple states. How does that rent compare to the nicest multifamily, would you say?
Yeah, it's a good question. So there's actually another category in senior living, and it's a new category. It's called age restricted, also called senior apartments. And that is a new category, and it's very hot right now. And Carlisle, the private equity firm, is the largest owner in that category. It's put tons of capital behind it. Greystar has been primarily the largest developer of the product, but now lots and lots of new entrants are coming in. People are dabbling in it. That is comp to multifamily. So
that you come to multifamily.
Look at it on a per foot basis, and you say, multifamily is at $350 a foot. We're going to price this at a 20% premium.
Yep.
Because you're getting X, Y, Z. Independent living, assisted, memory care is not done that way. So that is different. That's comped out to like-kind products because you're including all these services in the package, in the base package. So it's not really done on a per square foot basis like multifamily.
Okay, gotcha. And for the audience, I want you to think about when you're getting involved with a certain type of business. I have found over my experience, when you can add value in what you're offering, the price becomes less and less the focus. Like, you don't compete when you're buying a Rolls Royce. You're not competing, or if you're selling a Rolls Royce, if you're the dealer, you're not competing on price, right? Because if you say, oh, of course, I'm not going to go spend $300,000 versus a $25,000 car, you're going to lose all day long, right? It's about the extra value that you're getting, right? So what it sounds like with Adam's business is there's a lot of extra values and little things that his staff are doing that make the residents really want to be here and desire to have fun and be engaged. And it's not just about the final price.
Yeah,
so it's important to remember also. So now what's assisted living?
Okay, so assisted living is very similar, except now it's regulated. And
regulated. Very important.
It is for someone that is also looking for socialization, but also most of the time requires some level of care, some assisted daily living. So, they might need help with grooming or dressing or bathing or ambulatory services. And they also likely need some kind of assistance with medications.
Okay, reminder to be taking medications or help taking it. Okay.
Medication.
So that's super important that gets administered. Okay. And so when you say that's regulated, what does that mean? Does it have to do with the amount of staff you have to have per resident? Does it have to do with certain prices you can charge or certain insurance, Medicaid, Medicare? What does that mean?
We're all private pay.
You are. Okay.
But there are residents in our communities that have long-term care insurance policies.
Okay.
They handle that and then they pay us privately. But the assisted living and the memory care industry are regulated by the states.
Gotcha.
Then when you move down the continuum, which we don't do, into nursing, skilled nursing, that's regulated by the federal government.
Wow.
So in our industry, each state has a separate regulation. So that's a complexity to our business model. We're geographically agnostic. And a lot of our peers, and historically in the industry, there was a belief that you had to be geographically centralized. So, you'd see a company and they would start in, Jersey, and they would build out their portfolio in Jersey, and then they would expand to New York, and then they would expand to Pennsylvania, because you had to have everything in driving distance. Well, what I saw was that was a flawed model, in my opinion, where we are today as an industry. The reason is because you have to be so opportunistic. And so you start expanding into a primary, secondary, tertiary market. And now you're doing a 50 unit asset and a 200 unit asset, and you're doing standalone memory care, and you're doing a large CCRC, which is all levels of care. And then it's difficult for your support team, your corporate operations team, to be successful managing all of those. Just imagine if Hilton said, okay, now you multi-site operator, you're going to oversee Hampton Inn, Hilton Garden Inn, Hilton, and Waldorf.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be challenging.
They're all very different, right?
So that in the hotel industry, they have enough scale so they can say, okay, you're over Hampton, you're over Hilton, you're Garden Inn, so they understand their product line extremely well. They're experts in that product line, and it's not geographically driven, but it's brand driven. So we have a brand strategy, not a geographic strategy.
Gotcha.
Again, like when I started the company in 2016, a lot of people pushed back on me on that. We're like, I don't know how you're going to do it. You're in Colorado, you're in Illinois, you're in Maryland, you're in Virginia, you're in Texas, you're in Florida. That's not a good model. But we have conviction in the model, in our model, and think it's a different approach, but it is one that is appropriate for where we are as an industry today.
Absolutely. And the reason why that model was so interesting to you, you felt it was opportunistic because perhaps the price of land was cheaper in Texas or somewhere else, or help us understand that a little bit more.
Yeah. So actually, our development strategy is focused all on high barrier to entry locations.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
Where we have built and where we've opened. Our first was in Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
Our second is in Evanston, Illinois, where Northwestern college campus. Then we opened our third in Kensington, Maryland, and Montgomery County. So Chevy Chase, but we're just the Chevy Chase.
Expensive area, yeah.
Exactly. And then we're opening in May in Austin, Texas, adjacent to Austin Country Club and right down the road from Lake Austin. So very, very infill locations where you have very high incomes, you have high home values, you have good density. And so you can deliver a more elevated offering, more hospitality driven. We really spend a lot of time on technology, identifying technologies that can improve the resident experience, improve clinical outcomes, improve operating efficiencies. And so when you're in these segments, in these locations, you have more resources to be able to invest in.
You can charge more
with that strategy. And then we have our acquisition strategy, and we're in Clearwater, Florida, Williamsburg, Virginia, Parker, Colorado, and we're expanding that actively right now. And those are what I would describe as kind of large secondary markets, where you still have, good growth, you still have good incomes, but it's at a price point that is lower. And so we have two unique strategies to our growth.
It's so interesting. So are all your 8 sites, they're all private pay, Adam?
All of it, yeah.
Okay, very interesting. So for those that don't know, I'm on the board of the Jewish Home. I know I've mentioned that great organization before, and we have a number of different facilities. We have assisted living and we have skilled nursing. We kind of cover all the gamuts. We even have a in your home program, and I'm really learning the industry from the ground up. Started on the foundation side, raising money. And from what I understand, and this is applicable to a lot of non-for-profit organizations, which we are, which is obviously different from what Adam is. On the non-for-profit side, one of the big challenges is the reimbursements on the Medicaid, the Medicare, that you're not getting anywhere near what the private pay reimbursement would be, or your actual daily rate to cover your costs. And that obviously the government complexities are extremely challenging, and having to navigate those is a full-time job, and it's amazing how we do it. I don't know how we do it, because it's just amazing. And so the fact you decided to go totally private pay, help me understand that decision. Were you unsure of that? Was that a clear-cut decision for you? Was it trial and error? Just take me through understanding that better.
Yeah, so I guess when I started on the capital side, we did both. We did both, independent assisted memory care, and then we did nursing. My family business, which when I left was the 7th largest operator in the industry, about 200 properties. They were predominantly private pay. Of the 200, they had 6 that were CCRCs, which are continuum care retirement communities with a skilled nursing component, but it was small, like 50 beds.
Yeah.
So we'll call it 300 of the 20,000 beds were skilled. And then they had a affordable tax credit portfolio as well that they built in Chicago, about 24 properties, also a different product line. And so I wanted to have a niche when I started Solera. And what I saw was there was an opportunity to really elevate the experience in the luxury segment, and to offer something that was more comparable to what you would expect when you go stay at a Four Seasons or or for somebody that's been a member of a country club, or for somebody that has been a world traveler and likes to travel the world. They still have those same expectations. The children, typically the adult daughter, the 45 to 65-year-old daughter, who's actually evaluating the senior living options, somebody who's moving into assisted or memory care, that person, has those expectations. So, what we wanted to do was, deliver something that was more in line and consistent with what they had become used to and accustomed to.
That makes sense, especially for the daughter, the decision maker who or is involved in the decision helping. Where do they travel when they go away? Do they go to the Four Seasons? Do they go to the Ritz? So in the New York, New Jersey area, I mean, is there anyone that you would compare yourself to? Like, I know we have the Bristol here, we have Sunrise. There's a number of groups around this area. Are you comparable to any of those, or are you at a whole nother level?
Look, Sunrise is a great company. They've been around for a long time. I would describe them as pioneering real estate company within senior living. So I think before a lot of operators figure out that it was also a real estate business, they had incredible analytics, and we're studying markets and understanding the best locations, just like a Whole Foods does, for example.
Sure.
Every time you see a Whole Foods, it's always exact, it's in the right location.
Yep.
They're very shrewd, real estate company. Sunrise was the same way. Unfortunately, I think the Sunrise prototype, their mansion model, the architecture, the interiors, their whole program, it became stale.
It became dated. Yeah.
Yeah. So during the recession, the Great Recession, they had some challenges, but they have recovered. They've recapitalized. I think they've got a good future, but they're definitely evolving their product line. I think the Bristol is a very, very good developer, good operator. They pick really good locations and develop a high quality offering. In New York City specifically, there's been some pretty pioneering projects that have opened in the last 18 months. So actually, Sunrise opened one with Hines and Welltower recently. Maplewood Senior Living, they opened a high rise in New York under one of their sub brands. Watermark, which is another national operator, they opened a product in Brooklyn. It was a historic building, and they opened that in the last 12 months. So those are very pioneering projects.
Cool.
They're large scale. They're very forward in terms of their design and their program. So I think those are great for the industry.
Yeah. So why in kind of short answer, why is this a good real estate play? If somebody is a real estate developer, maybe they've built apartments, maybe they've built shopping centers, and they're looking to get into something else. They want to diversify from a development standpoint. Maybe it's a family developer. Why are they thinking about this type of industry, the senior living industry? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. One, it used to be that if you were a retail developer, there was lots of options. Now, with retail moving online,
don't remind me, please. Don't remind me. I'm very aware.
Especially mixed use developers, master planners, they can't fill all the pads with retail and make the deals pencil. So they got to look at alternative uses. You look at office. You could also argue now, more people are working from home. Obviously, WeWork was very disruptive. So I had this thesis when I launched that you were going to see senior living integrated into mixed use developments or redevelopments of malls. That trend is playing out.
That makes a lot of sense to me, because when I think about from both sides, your resident is probably dying to want to experience, day-to-day shopping, regular activities that they're accustomed to their entire life, right? That they don't want to be cut off from. So if they can literally come downstairs and walk to a Starbucks or walk to Chico's or a great little restaurant and be together with their friends, I would think that would be incredible for them. And for the retailer, you've got this built-in base of loyal customers who, aren't working a normal, 9-to-5 job. So maybe they're coming during hours that it's not as busy and creating sales during times when you didn't expect it. To me, that sounds like a win-win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And for the kids too, the kids can come visit. They can take mom and, go to, they have a coffee shop. So I think there's a lot of really good use cases here. The other thing is returns. So
okay, let's talk about that.
If you look at like a multifamily asset class, obviously the returns are tight. I'm no expert on this, but you're building with pretty low yields because it's pretty safe. Seniors housing, similar to hotels, there's a lot more risk. The difference, senior housing in a hotel, the duration in a hotel is very short, right? Somebody stays for a couple nights. Senior housing, if it's assisted living, memory care, they're staying for a couple years. If it's independent living, they're staying for 3 years. If it's a CCRC, they're staying for 5+ years. So the duration's longer, but there's a lot of operational risk because you're running a restaurant, you're running a healthcare operation, you're running, you have housekeeping team members, concierge. It's a complex operation, and so you have lease up risk, and then you also have operational execution risk, and now like we're in the staffing crisis, so
my goodness,
there's a lot of risk that comes along with that side of it too. So you're going to generate a higher return on your capital and a higher yield in senior living than in other asset classes. So if you're a value add investor,
sure,
and you're seeking blended value add returns, even if you're a core investor, I would make the case that you're still seeking a blended return. And by adding seniors housing into your investment portfolio, it's an important strategy today because it allows you to blend up your returns, blend up your yields.
And diversify your risk. You're diversifying. So let's break it down to small numbers. If somebody were to invest $100,000 in a brand new multifamily project, they may make 5% a year. They may make $5,000, $6,000. That's kind of where a core investor is acceptable to. They're accepting that these days. Obviously, with leverage, those numbers can change if you take on debt. So for that same $100,000 in a senior living, could somebody expect that to get double that? Could they get up to 10% perhaps?
Yeah, you'd be targeting more in the 8%, unlevered
Gotcha.
return for seniors housing, and the spread between your yield on your cost and your stabilized cap rate is going to be a lot wider. than it's going to be in multifamily, also resulting in better returns for the investor.
Yes. Gotcha. And by the way, just a reminder to the audience, we're talking about kind of in general terms what investors are looking for. Neither Adam or I are talking about a specific deal or making any type of offering or promise of what deals look like. These are just general terms of what the investment community. So you would always have to do your homework and read through the offering memorandums, the prospectus, the due diligence information, the operating agreements. And even then, there's no promises whatsoever when you invest in a real estate deal. Things happen. We had 2 supermarkets called Publix, who, if you ever went to Florida, you would love Publix. And they closed their supermarkets twice in our Atlanta shopping centers. And you can imagine what happens to the other tenants when Publix decides to shut down and move out. It's kind of a big gasping sound of air and money coming out of your pocket. So you've got to work with a great team that you trust in, who can turn around that type of that situation. So kind of let's kind of head towards wrapping up a little bit. Let's just talk about and I'm going to ask this question, and then I'm going to be on. I just have to run to my office to get my portable battery charging. My phone is getting low, Dougie. It's not going to die, but I just want to make sure we don't lose me here. I'll still be listening on my headphones. But I just want to understand, Adam, during COVID, just kind of help us get through. What were the big concerns? A lot of people have heard about nursing shortages and staff shortages, supply chain shortages. Can you just give us an overview of what did you go through during that period of time, and how have you picked yourself back up?
I mean, I still have post-traumatic stress syndrome from it, so I'm not sure I'm ready to talk about it.
Keep talking.
The world changed for us in March of 2020, and what I would say is that transition from being a company that really focused on hospitality and service to a company that had to become an infection control expert. The early days were very difficult because, we didn't know. You could argue we still don't today, but we didn't know. We didn't know a whole lot about the coronavirus, and so we were constantly researching guidance from the CDC and from the states to develop protocols, and those protocols were changing. They were changing by the day. And then, we were working on securing PPE, and PPE wasn't available. We had to understand, how to secure tests, and tests weren't available. It was just the pressure for so long that was on, everyone's shoulders of, well, if you're working on the front lines, and you get coronavirus, are you going to be okay?
Right.
And you had to be extremely proud of everyone.
Incredible.
Everyone on the front lines, not only in senior living, but just anyone on the front lines that showed up. They played an important role in for us, in serving our residents, serving our seniors. And then just going to sleep every night and worrying, what happens if we have a case and we have an outbreak, and, how are we going to contain it? It was very difficult. And so, then we fast kind of forward to first quarter of last year, and before the vaccines were ready, available, and we had outbreaks in buildings, and we could contain it in assisted, but in memory care it was very difficult, because in memory care, we're talking about residents with dementia, with Alzheimer's, so
Sure.
It's very difficult to get somebody to wear a mask. It's difficult to get them to quarantine, and so the virus would spread. But we took a position in December of 2020 to mandate the vaccine for people, excluding religious and medical exemptions. So we have extremely high vaccination rates in the company. So fortunately now, when there's a case, there's an outbreak, nobody is dying. So
Thank God, yeah.
we're in a very different place, fortunately, because our residents are vaccinated. There's better treatment. the anticolonial antibody treatment, has been very effective for residents and for team members in need. And so, it's just changed. We're now trying to, move past this and try to restore, some normalcy. Hopefully, let's just say like March 1st, when this, wave of Omicron is behind us.
Yep.
I'm optimistic that, we'll have brighter days ahead. And it's important because, for our residents, they can't be locked down. They can't be locked down. They need to see their loved ones, their family members. They need to be, engaging with their, with the community. That is equally as detrimental to them, if, than the virus. So we know the socialization, the engagement is so critical. And so we have to get back to, those times. I'm, at the end of the day, while the last 2 years it's just been taxing. There's tremendous amount of burnout. There's fatigue, among all levels of the organization. I got to remain hopeful and hopeful that, this makes us a better company. It makes us a better industry. And we evolve from this. That's obviously,
you don't have a choice. You've got to be hopeful, right? You have hundreds of people that are depending on you, and you've got to be hopeful. You've got to give it everything you have. And it's an entrepreneur never stops adjusting and trial and error, and not being afraid to go for it. And you can never give up hope, right? I mean, you just can't. And you have to be comfortable with you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to have setbacks, and you're going to have, of course, many little 1 or 2 cases or outbreaks, and then you learn from that, and you just keep moving forward. And it's just, I agree with you completely, Adam. It's incredible what the front lines have done. Even, obviously there's just tremendous burnout, fatigue to your point in this industry. And I just hope young people can still appreciate how important it is to go to school, study nursing. There's a tremendous nurse shortage throughout the country. And, those jobs are just so critical. I have a sister-in-law who's a nurse, and it's just such an important job to the society that we live in. And I hope people can respect that more as they've gone through COVID. And you think about somebody who works at a grocery store, how important that job was, right? During the initial first few months when we really had no clue what was going on here. And I think we got away from that a little bit. Our country got away from kind of having that respect and that admiration for some of those positions. And I think we need to get back to those days of appreciating what others do for your neighbor. Last question, kind of on the business side. Can we just talk about technology for a minute? I know it's important to you. As I'm building some new apartment projects, we're looking and investigating about a lot of technology, like with the Bluetooth phone, for example, to get into your apartment or your facility, whether it's a hotel room. There's a company called Latch that a lot of big real estate firms have invested in, that you're seeing everywhere now. We're going to use that in self-storage. We're opening up the self-storage units with the phone as well. So is there certain Bluetooth technology that you're excited about? Help me understand what it is that you think is kind of the next step for your business with tech.
Yeah, we are pretty tech forward. So what I would say is there's one tech, I'll call it specifically, it's called Care Predict. And it's a wearable device. So historically in our industry for 30 plus years, people have been installing what's called a pull cord, an emergency pull cord. You go into a bedroom, you go into a bathroom, there's a cord. If you fall, you pull it. Okay. Yeah. We're still installing this today. I made a commitment to myself that I would not install pull cords. We would find a better technology. So this is a wearable device. It looks like an Apple Watch. So it's something a consumer would want. I also said I would not purchase any type of wearables that looked like it was in a clinical hospital setting. Our residents are already, in their 80s, 90s, hundreds. They don't need a reminder of the stage of life they're in. And so that was very important to me. A lot of the technologists told me I was nuts. But it's really great technology. It actually opens. It has RFID, so it opens the doors. It has two-way communication, so you can communicate with team members
Right.
through the
So
law.
if you fall, you can just talk to your watch.
Yeah.
Incredible. You got to send me a link on this. I want to share this with my friends at the Jewish Home. I've never heard of this. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's even way. I mean, it has geofencing. So if somebody's a wanderer, for that individual, if they walk into a certain part of the building, it actually will alert the staff. It's an amazing fact.
Wow.
We're really excited about that, and there's a lot.
So what's the investment, Adam? What's the investment in something like that?
It's definitely more expensive. So you're looking at like call it comparable in terms of the cost for emergency response, slightly less. The infrastructure costs are less, but then you have a monthly operating expense, like a SaaS cost that goes along.
Sure.
But our belief is it's the future, and it is
absolutely
it's worth the investment. And it'll cost down over time as they get scale. But right now, we like being on the leading edge in this area. This is a very big bet we've made, and we think that it provides a lot of value to our operating teams. So
cool. Dougie, do you have the flyer that I sent you for the Jewish Home, the Martinis and Mezuzah event in March?
Absolutely.
Did I send that to you?
Yes, sir.
So, friends, if you've enjoyed listening a little bit today and learning about, the senior living industry, learning about Adam's company, just kind of a reminder, I'm on the board of this great organization here locally in Bergen County, where a lot of my friends live. And we've had to move this date back a few times because of COVID. And hopefully now this is it. But we've got, is that March 10th or March 18th? It's kind of little for me to see here.
March 10th.
March 10th. Thank you. March 10th. We're going to be doing a great event in Rockley at the Jewish Home. We're going to be kicking off our new rehab center. So we're going to be showing everybody. We built, Adam, a brand new state-of-the-art short-term rehab center with incredible fitness, saltwater pools, the kind of place where, God forbid, your grandmother fell and needed a hip surgery and needed a place to stay for a week or two and could have PT, nonstop, can be taken care of with the best trainers, the best therapists. And so we want to show the community that facility. And we want to introduce the facility and the brand and to younger executives, younger families in New Jersey, in Bergen County. That's one of the reasons why I've gotten involved to help raise awareness and raise funds for this great organization that means so much to me. So we're having this is a free cocktail party. It doesn't cost anything to go. And there's a great honor you get, which is hanging a mezuzah. It's a small little prayer on the door when you go into one of the patient rooms. So it's a great opportunity to learn more about this organization, hang out with some friends, have some great cocktails, and be together. So I just wanted to share that real quick. And if you have any questions how to sign up for that, just shoot me an email at the getupwithgarret@gmail.com down there or a DM. I'd be happy to introduce you to some of those folks and help you get signed up for that event coming on March 10th. Okay, Adam, this has been awesome. I have a couple of quick questions for you, if you mind hanging around for our lightning round.
Okay.
I'll put you on the spot here with some fun questions that we ask all of our guests. Dougie, you tell me when you're ready with the music.
I'm ready to rock. Let's do it.
All right. First thing that comes to your mind, Adam. Don't overthink it. What's a good business book you'd recommend to an entrepreneur?
Good to Great.
Good to Great. Jim Collins, right? That's a good one. A lot of talk about going to outer space. I know you love to travel. Who would you trust the most? Elon Musk, Richard Branson, or Jeff Bezos?
Elon Musk.
Elon. This is a Ted Lasso reference. First concert, best concert.
That's tough.
Okay. How about any concert? Any concert you went to?
Let's see. I can't. Garth Brooks. It was really special to me because my wife is a diehard country fan, and I took her to his comeback tour.
Can't go wrong with taking your wife to her favorite concert. That definitely checks the box in my world. And what's a goal a year from now I can remind you of?
Be the best. So
That's-
for us, I know it's not a SMART goal there, but every day, while we're very growth oriented, our goal is to be the best in every single market that we operate in. And if we're not, then our growth, our pace of growth is too faster than our operational infrastructure.
That's excellent. I think a lot of people. All right, Dougie, you can cut the music. I think a lot of people get very carried away with growing at any cost, and what Adam just said, it really reigns home in that be the best at what you have, and don't branch out too far until you're the best, right? So you don't open up one, ice cream shop and say, now I'm going to franchise it to 100, right? Perfect the one, perfect the two, perfect the three, and sometimes people get carried away with this, crazy growth model, and not just in franchising, in general business as well. So I love that. Be the best. I'm gonna take that and use that, Adam, if that's okay. All right, so we're gonna wrap up. The only thing I just want to ask everyone, and Dougie and you as well, what does everybody think about the football games this week? I'm thrilled. I'm excited for divisional round. Last weekend was great with the wild card. Let's talk NFC. We have the 49ers at Green Bay, and the 49ers kind of look great, really surprising the Cowboys. And Green Bay needs to win by 6 is the spread. So 49ers at Green Bay. Green Bay's giving them 6. What do you guys think about that game?
I'm pulling it up for you right now. So you guys, hold on.
Well, I live in Denver, and if you live in Denver, you're a Shanahan fan, so gotta go for the 49ers.
So you're staying with the Shanahan family. Okay. Long time loyalty there. That's awesome. I think the Niners are going to surprise them. I'm a little concerned about the weather, though. But Jimmy Garoppolo played in New England behind Tom Brady, and he is used to some cold weather there. So, oh wow, this is fancy, Dougie. I didn't even need this. I know there's only a few teams left now.
You're welcome.
So, what about? I think the other really exciting game is certainly going to be a high-scoring game. The Bills and the Chiefs. The Bills are playing at the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are giving 1.5, which is kind of low for usually a home game. It's 3 points. What do you think about that one, Adam?
I'm going underdog, so I'm going Bills on this.
You're going to go Bills? I'm going to be with you. I think Josh Allen has caught fire, and I think the entire organization has caught fire. And I really think this could be the year that we see the Bills in the Super Bowl. I think we all remember 4 years in a row in the 90s, right? Dougie, do you have a thought on this one? Bills at Chiefs?
I like the Bills, but they need to show up. So the Bills are a great team, but they've been very inconsistent. So if they show up, they could easily beat the Chiefs, but they got to show up. And that goes for the Bucks Rams. The Rams need to show up. Those are like mirror
the Rams
games.
Are going to show up.
Yeah.
I definitely think the Rams are going to show up because, the weather's warm, right? Is it in LA? No, I think this one's in Florida.
No, it's in the
Tampa.
Yeah.
It's in Tampa? Okay. But I think the Super Bowl's in LA.
They're like the same game on both sides. The Chiefs Bills is basically identical to the Bucks Rams. Like you have experience in the playoffs,
yeah.
But the Rams and the Bills are definitely better teams if they come to play.
So the Titans and the Bengals, great game.
We lost you for a second. Can't hear you, Garrett. Can't hear you. Uh-oh. Well, we were talking about Titans and Bengals. So, Adam, who do you like with the Titans and the Bengals?
I'm going to go that game I'm not even going to turn on. And then I'm going Rams because I like the underdogs.
Nice. Yeah, so definitely a bunch of good games this weekend. You guys definitely want to check them out. And do not forget to check out. There, he's back. You're back.
I think, my phone rang and I hit decline on my Apple Watch, which was not hooked up to Adam's system. And it kicked me out. So what I was saying was the Bills Chiefs, I think, is awesome game. I don't think the winner of the Titans-Bengals can beat either the Bills or the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Is my problem. I think the offenses are too high powered. So although Titans-Bengals could be an awesome game, to me it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. I think they're both going to lose to the Bills or the Chiefs, and I'm thinking the Bills. And the NFC is going to be interesting. I mean, I think LA really is focused. They really, Odell had the best game he's had in years. And I feel like the Rams really can pull this off and have the home Super Bowl, which would just be mind blowing to have 2 years in a row with a home Super Bowl. But the 49ers are getting hot. Let me tell you, the 49ers, you do not want to be playing the 49ers at this juncture. They are really getting hot. Hopefully everyone's healthy over there and we get a chance to see their best. David Lenter from Game Day, one of our earlier guests who is very familiar with football, says, "Go Bucks." So, all right, let's wrap up. I have a call I got to jump on anyway at 11:15. Dougie, what do you want to say? How do people connect
I just
with Adam?
want to Adam, connect with Adam right here. And also don't forget to check out his beautiful website, which looks just like this.
Excellent.
I hope that's the
Absolutely.
right site.
So you can go through here. If you want to learn more about Solera, you can go to Adam's website and look at the different locations, learn about the lifestyle, the team, the core values that he talked about with us today. You can certainly connect with Adam on LinkedIn or other ways, I'm sure, as well, and send us an email. And Adam, we appreciate spending your morning with us and getting up with Garret. And thanks to everybody for joining us. We'll see you real soon. Have a great weekend. Enjoy those football games, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.